It's about me getting to the next level. And so as a mentee, when someone is mentoring me, I gotta tell myself that. Feelings, put yourself in check. This ain't about that. It's about me getting to the next level. All right? Now y'all know, I'm sure y'all seen this. Right, Kevin Hart had this, I was watching it this morning, is this podcast called The Pivot, and he was talking about success. It's really good. I encourage you guys to go watch it. Go ahead and go to the next one. All right, so this is our track record. So like I said, I'm a former school counselor. My husband has a mechanic business. We got licensed in 2012. I'm just gonna share with you the last 10 years of what has happened. Right, became RVPs in 2015, crossed over 100,000 in 2016, became SVPs in 2019. In the middle of the pandemic, and you guys saw this with your coach, crossed over 2, 3, and 400,000 in the middle of the pandemic. Well, you know, we just kept working, became NSDs. Today we have 3 locations. Ooh, I have to update that. It's not 9 no more. We got 11 regional vice presidents. We have over 564 licensed agents. I'm here to be an asset to the community. I'm here to be the resource to the community that raised me. I'm from the hood. I'm just more refined now, but I grew up in the hood. The hood raised me, so just like the pastor said, you gotta go back and reach and pull somebody up because someone pulled you up, all right? So from humble beginnings come great things. Let's talk about humble beginnings. You know, from humble beginnings come great things. I'm just gonna do a picture log so you guys can see. I'm a visual learner, so I like to see it. So that's what I'm doing with you guys. So that's my husband. You know, we started this together. I'm the lively one. I'm the one that works with the team. He's the stoic one. Like he just kind of sits back and that's it. But the key thing is we confide in each other. And partnership doesn't have to be a husband and a wife. Partnership can be 2 girlfriends coming together and saying, we're gonna do this thing. I'm not gonna let you back down, you don't let me back down. Partnership is a mother and a daughter coming together, a son and a dad coming together, 2 brothers coming together. It's just you saying, I'm gonna hold you accountable, you hold me accountable, and we're gonna work this out together. There's someone in the foxhole with you that's gonna help you get out your own mental stuff, right? That's what partnership is, okay? So this was my husband's mechanic shop. So 6 months before Primerica came to us, he started his own mechanic shop. We lowered all of our expenses down to my income so he could start his business. Right? You gotta learn how to do business. People don't want to lower their expenses down. If I want to become an entrepreneur in business and pursue something, I gotta lower my household expenses so that way I'm not mentally thinking about, well, I gotta pay this bill, I gotta pay this bill. No, so we lowered things down. We paid things off. We cut things off. Because we knew we wanted to succeed in business. And that was before Primerica came to us, right? And then 6 months later, you know, so this was me. I was teacher of the year for the district. Everyone in this picture I sat down and met with. I didn't leave any rock, you know what I'm saying? I overturned everyone. So she's a client. That's my first regional vice president right here. And that was my principal when I was a teacher. Right, they're all clients. I talk to everyone. So then I became a school counselor. I was a school counselor at Abby Halliday, right? I met Abby Halliday in person, her 101st birthday. She came to the school and she autographed her book called From Hats to Houses. It's a wonderful book about female entrepreneurs, right? You gotta study business. This is business. This is not something. And so I studied business. So that way I can become a successful business owner, right? And so that's my daughter. This is my coach, my regional vice president. And some of the things that attracted me to her was she was disciplined, she was determined, a student of the business, a risk taker, had an impeccable work ethic, mental toughness, and she made money, right? And so you gotta attract you attract who you are, not what you want. And so we all want to find someone that's going to get our business moving, but you got to know you got to do it. that's who you're attracted to. So she found me, and I went to work. I was coachable. She said, I only spend time with people who put me on appointments. And that's what I did. I put on a ton of appointments. She said, you want to be a builder, because she was a personal producer. But she said it took her 10 years to get to where she was. She said, Chanika, you don't have 10 years. I want you guys, I don't have 10 years. That means we got to quit playing around. We got to put our feelings in check and know that I don't have 10 years to get this done. I got to get to moving now. And so she said, you don't have 10 years. She said, I know you're serious if you're at every meeting, right? And go ahead, you can turn it. So this is my first 2 weeks of the business. I'm a pack rat, I keep everything. I packed her schedule out because I wanted to see what she did. She was making $10,000 a month and I wasn't. I wanted to make $10,000 a month. Put me in front of people, she said. I said, okay. I put her in front of a ton of people because I wanted to see it. Okay, go ahead. This was my first year in business. I shared some of this yesterday, how I took off 3 days a week every week for a whole year. That I started June of 2012. That August, I turned my resignation letter in. I told my principal, this is my last year in the district. I got a ton of days saved up. I'm taking off 3 days a week every week. And I did that for the whole year. So this is my first year in business. And after that, I left the district, never went back. I just knew I was gonna succeed here. And I didn't care what it took, I would succeed here, right? So you gotta remove all distractions. This is my first year in business, I had to find that out. You gotta remove all distractions. As women, we allow distractions to distract us. Their goal is to distract you. They're gonna come. You just have to remove all this. Don't allow it to distract you. So here's just some of the distractions I have. Of course, you got family and friends. They gonna distract you, right? Negativity, office distractions, right? When I left the district, I got offered 2 positions. Y'all, to be a school counselor, that's a very rare position. There's only 1 per campus. And usually people retire as school counselors. So you gotta wait till someone retires or someone dies before you can become a school counselor. So when I turned my resignation letter in, I got 2 positions just like that, offered 2 positions. That's how the enemy works. He wanna dangle something in front of you. Oh, you say you wanna do business, right? Let me go and give another position right here. I mean, that's how it happens. So 2013, we became regional leaders, right? So the last check that I received from the district, the very next month we became regional leaders. Because that's when push comes to shove. Look, I'm pushing and I'm shoving. I gotta make this happen, right? She said you gotta show up to everything. This was my very first Women in Primerica conference. It was in Biloxi, Mississippi. That was my very first one. So that was just me by myself. I didn't have quite a team yet. That's Taria, that was her team. So you gotta be a part of a team first. You gotta become a team member, a team player. Whatever she told me to do, I did it, right? I was coachable to everything. Before I can lead people, I gotta be a follower. I gotta know how that looks. And so I followed every word she told me to do, right? She said, be competitive. Yeah, I'm very competitive, very. I'm her first regional vice president, her first division leader, first regional leader, her first, I just said, no, I'm gonna set records for you, Taria. And so I was what she needed and she was what I needed, right? You gotta be the best in everything. So we won the Future Jersey. I was tracking everything. There was one moment, when you go full time, it's like, I don't leave no money on the table, none. So when I service this client, I'm servicing you with everything. You get insurance, investments, a will, look, see if you can save money or auto at home. Like, it was everything. She said, when you service a client, when they have 3 products or more, they're a client for life. So I said, okay, we're doing 3 products or more. Right, number 1 in POBP, I wasn't trying, but I was servicing all my clients. Okay? Growth is painful, change is painful, but nothing is as painful as staying stuck somewhere you don't belong. You gotta choose your pain. Either way it goes, it's gonna be painful. I'm gonna grow through this pain, I'm gonna stay stuck in it. It's both painful, right? Faith it until you make it. Man, you gotta faith it. This is a faith walk. Business is a faith walk. Putting a vision out there, not knowing whether or not it's gonna happen or not, but I'm gonna throw it out there anyway, that's a faith walk, right? So 2015, this one became regional vice president. And it was so funny, y'all. We didn't have this huge RVP party. I was at the office. She said, Chanika, come here. I went into her office. She said, you gotta hurry up and sign this paperwork. Today's the last day to become an RVP. I said, oh, okay. And that was it. Right? She was new. I mean, you know, we figured it out. So that was our very first Christmas party as a regional vice president team. That's my daughter right there. She was pregnant. You know, now in this picture, 1, 2, 3, there's 3 RVPs in that picture. You just don't know it yet. You don't know who the RVPs are gonna be. You gotta grow a team, bring them to events. You know, your coaches already have the events here. Get a table and pack it out. You don't know who the people are gonna be, right? So this was my first, this was 2015. So this picture here is 1, 2, 3 RVPs. Everybody in this picture is still with me. Right? There's 3 RVPs in that picture. Just don't know it yet, right? So 2016 in this picture, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 RVPs in that picture. So everything you see today came in a 3-year time span of me working. And I'm going to talk about that later, what the work was. What did I do in that 3-year time span to see what you see today? Okay? So this was everyone in the base shop at that time, right? So Alpha Squad, she's a regional vice president. This is what she was doing in my base. Like, and in that order, there are RVPs. So Latoya Fleming, former school principal, Hope McNutt, her and I go to church together. Explosive Warriors, Sharon Alex, her and I are counselors together. Team Fearless, that's my daughter, right? Cornisha McQueen. And then Legacy, she's still with me. She's a regional leader. She's a full-time teacher, right? Still with us. But that was the production they did in the base when we were moving and going before they got promoted out. Okay? Go ahead. So you have to have an impeccable work ethic. If you run from the work, you might as well hide from the money. So you name it, I did it. I shared yesterday, me being a former educator, you know, I built my business in the school system. I did. I was on the PTA board, the SBDM board, we did career day, field days, I did parent workshops. My face, right, that campus knew it. I told someone earlier today, you gotta become the face of that campus. How do I become the face of that campus? They see me. They have a Dr. Seuss day I'm reading to the students. So that way when teachers know, oh no, go see my lady, she good. Go work with her with your finances. Because I'm there at the campus. So these are all the things, these are the schools we were at. You know, it was just me in the beginning in the schools. Now we're like, before COVID, we were in 72 schools. Because then I taught them how to be the face of the campus, right? Late night team meetings. You know, I would come back from either ALC or Women in Primerica or something, and I would call a meeting. I'd be on the plane, everybody meet at my house at 10 o'clock tonight. And then they show up, and I say, this is our game plan. This is what we're doing. We're going. It's just, you gotta, Art Williams said, you gotta always call a play. Don't be afraid to call a play. Every play is meant to succeed. They don't always, but every play is meant to succeed. You just can't be afraid to call a play. So it's many plays. You gotta know your business. I'm gonna talk about tracking your business. So everywhere my business is all over me, right? Cash flow, we came here to get wealthy. So how soon you want to get to 50K, 100K? You got to track that down, right? You have to be in business long enough to build a business. The number one reason why people quit is because of money. Well, you got to get disciplined to go make the money. You can't be afraid of the word W-O-R-K. You get paid to talk to people. Go talk to people, right? Never take the credit for your recruit's success or failure. That was huge for me. Me being a counselor, I felt some kind of obligation if someone didn't succeed. But I had to learn, I can't take the credit for you succeeding, just as well as I can't take the credit for you not succeeding. That's on you. Right. All I gotta do is introduce you to the business and teach you what I know, but it's on you to go succeed or not. But that kept me back a little bit because I was like, oh my gosh, I felt bad if someone wasn't succeeding. But that's not on me, that's on them. Okay, go ahead and flip. All right, the 20% rule. Once again, you gotta know business. You guys have heard of the Pareto principle? It says 20% of the church tithe what? 80% of the money. 20% of the people at your job do 80% of the work. Well, that's a business principle. The same is true in your business. So I've got to work that backwards to know how many licenses do I need to get this many people working to have this much production. Okay, let me calculate that. And then I just work it backwards, right? So it says 20% of your recruits will actually get licensed. 20% of your licensed agents will produce. They'll produce 2 life apps a month. So if I want a 30,000 base shop, I need 375 recruits. 75 will get licensed. 15 will actually do some work. So people come to me and say it's not working. Well, let me see your trend track. How many licenses do you have? 10? Oh no, it's working. According to the numbers, it's working. You can't beat the numbers and the numbers can't beat you. I just gotta go work the numbers. Go get your license up. I only got 1 person working. It's supposed to be like that. You got 10 people licensed. 20% of 10 is what? Come on now. All right, so, and then my plan, this was my first year in the business, I put this PowerPoint together. So my plan wasn't to go RVP, it was to go SVP from the very beginning. I said, I'll touch RVP on the way of becoming SVP. All right. Right? What I like most about this is I can't get to where I want to go without helping somebody else. This is a pushing up people business. So the more people I push up and put in position to win, I succeed. We all succeed in this. So I can't be afraid of pushing you up. I ain't got no ego in this. We all win in here. You're gonna change your family life just like I'm gonna change mine. Let's just win together. And so as long as you are in that mentality, now of course everyone not like that, and that's okay. I move on. I've learned to quickly move on. If you're not who I'm looking for, let me quickly move on. I don't have the mental energy or space to put on someone who's not ready. And I think as women, because we're so loving and giving, we invest too much time in people that's not ready. They're not ready. Put them in a pot of stew and keep on going. Tori used to tell me, she said, Chanika, your business is like a pot of stew, right? When you're making stew, and I'm not even a cook, but I know this. When you're making stew, what do you put in first? The meat and potatoes, right? Why?
Take the longest.
It takes long for them to cook. What do you put in last? The vegetables. Why? Because they get ready like that. People are the same way. Some people are meat and potatoes. You just got to put them in the environment and let them stew. Some people come in, they vegetables, they ready like that. Okay, that's who I'm gonna work with. Now, I'm not gonna treat this person wrong because they're not a vegetable. I'm gonna treat them all with respect and love, but I know I have to invest my time in the vegetable because they're ready to get going. And the meat and potato, I'm gonna love on you, I'm gonna invite you to events, hey, how's it going, how's the family, until you're ready. So one of my recruiters told me, she said, Chanika, I'm real. I said, okay. She said, it's gonna take me a long time, but when I'm ready, I'm gonna be tender. I said, all right then, I'll take a rib. Right? Go ahead. So this is my first 2 regional vice presidents. Latoya Fleming, her and I were teachers together, right? It took me 4 years to really recruit her. She was my training appointment. On those first 2 weeks I showed you, her name was on, both of their names were on that first 2 weeks. So she was my training appointment. We recruited at the time, but she wasn't ready, right? Because she was going to be a principal. But then 4 years later, she was ready. Okay? And then, so this was a late night RVP meeting. And I'm showing you pictures because, this meeting right here, y'all don't realize, before we took this picture, we were arguing and fighting. But the thing is, you can't be afraid to have those difficult conversations. To say, sister, hold on. And so that was one of those nights. It was a sister, hold on. We went to arguing and then we made up because we in here to win. sometimes, once again, we gotta put our feelings in check. When someone pulls your coattail, just know they're doing it out of love. You know, they're not trying to, beat you down, but they're saying, hey, come on, this is what you said you want. Your family is waiting on you. Your kids are watching you. So let's go. And so that was one of those nights. This one became SVP, so that's my daughter and her husband right here. I shared my story yesterday. I had my daughter when I was 15, right? I was a teenage mom, okay? And so she went to college with me. She walked the stage with me. So when she was in college is when I started Primerica. And so when she graduated college, she said, okay, Mama. It took me 5 years to recruit, something like that. Anyway, it took me a long time to recruit her. Because she told me, she said, Mama, that's for old people, I don't want to do that. She told me that, that's for old people, I don't want to do that. So it was really AALC that recruited her, right? I made her go. And when she got there, when she shares her story, she says, you think you've grown until your mama say, get your butt in that van, you coming with me. And so she did. She got in a van and she saw young people who were succeeding, and that's what recruited her. So not being afraid to put people in an environment. It may be someone that you can't recruit, but you bring them to an event like this, and the event will recruit them. Because they'll see something that'll speak to them, they'll say, okay, I want to do this, right? That's when we went SVP, okay? I love this picture right here, right? Now, the people in this picture, they were in those early pictures. They were in the early pictures. Now they're regional vice presidents, but they were in those beginning pictures when I was in my grind, those 2 to 3 years when I worked my tail off. They were in those early pictures. Now they're regional vice presidents, all right? Our NSD team, when we're National Sales Director, I love pictures. I'm a visual person. This is what we say now. You gotta have a vision. You gotta have a vision, right? You gotta have a vision, put it out there, say it until it comes to pass, and work towards it. So you gotta say, what's the vision for you and your team, right? And if it's you, you are the team. And so you build a team, okay? All right, so I love this quote right here. It says, you can do what I cannot do. I can do what you cannot do together. Now let's read that last part. Together, we can do great things. I love events like this because it brings us together. God created us for connection. And so it's us connecting together to know we can do great things. And so this was the picture we took at the beginning of last year. We're working on 1,000 codes. And literally right after this picture, we promoted 3 more RVPs. So yeah, so I love that picture. So that's them giving them their shirt for RVP retreat. And then this is the night we promoted the 2 RVPs, extra RVPs. So that's all RVPs right there. Now I'm gonna share this real quick. I think I have a little bit of time. So I think a lot of times what happens is we get into money and we start spending money way too soon. And we live way above our means. And so in business, right, you gotta learn how to keep your expenses low. So this house, I bought this house my first year as a teacher. That was in 2004, that was my first house. And we lived in that house until we were over $400,000 in income. Our expenses was $2,000. So imagine making $30,000 a month and your household expenses are $2,000.
Mighty God. Hallelujah.
We increase our expenses way too soon. And so we wanted to make sure, one coach told me, Chanika, put all your earnings and get Primerica stock. I said, okay. Another one said, map all of this money. I said, okay. I wanted to make sure we were well invested. And you gotta lower your expenses. Someone told me, they said, Chanika, you look like you make $30,000 a month. I said, what that's supposed to look like?
Right.
What is that supposed to look like? I don't know what the vision you have in your mind, but this is the person that does that. So whatever vision you got, that's on you, that's your misconception, right? So you gotta be willing to lower your expenses. So we lived in that house until literally last year. We just made a year of the new house we just moved into. So because of Primerica, we own 10.5 right? We have a 10-acre house, right? So that's the house he flipped again. That's my husband and myself, right? I'm gonna show you guys. We have a flagpole on our land, so we got our Turner Nation flagpole there, right? We have a pavilion on our home.
Come on now.
So we have team events at the pavilion. We have a lake on our home, right? Because you gotta be willing to lower your expenses so you can increase your territory. Many people want to spend way too soon. I knew I need to make sure I'm secure. I'm making all this money. When I started making a lot of money, I started calling people. I said, Miss Stevens, what do you start doing when you make all this money? I call coaches. I do. I call Bill Ritter. Bill, what do you do when you start making all this money? Because I don't want to waste it. I want to make sure I secure my legacy.
Yes.
Okay? So that's our 10-acre home. That's you can see that stoic look. He's just very good. I'm the lively one. He's the, yeah. Right? So that's our land.
Wow.
That's our land. We have 10 acres.
Mighty God.
You gotta, this is what Primerica did. Primerica did this. I'm just a vessel for God, and God said, I want you to do this. I said, okay, I didn't ask no questions, right? So it's all in your head. Okay, you gotta watch your thoughts because they become words. You have to watch your words because they become actions. You have to watch your actions, they become habits. Watch your habits, they become your character. Watch your destiny watch your character, it becomes your destiny. But it all starts here. So I shared with the group yesterday, there's a book called God's Creative Power by Charles Cap. Get the collected version. Get it on Audible so you can listen to it.
Yes.
And he really talks about how to speak over your life according to scripture. He said, God told us that we can have what we say, we can have what we want, but we're currently having what we see. Yes. Charles Capps, C-A-P-P-S, God's Creative Power. So you gotta watch what you're speaking and speak what you want, and only speak what you want. Speak where you're going, speak your vision, and watch your vision become a reality. I just stood firm on what I wanted. And when things weren't going right, I said, God, according to your word, you said you won't let your child go without. So right now, I'm standing on your word. And when you stand on his word, he don't let you go without, because that's the type of God he is. When has he ever let you go without? When has he ever failed through on you? And so when you understand that and know that, you just stand on his word and know that God will pull you through. And that's what he did. That's what business is really about. I don't know any business. Well, I don't know how you can build a business and not have faith. I just don't know. I don't know that. That's not my story. Like, plenty of times I cried. It was like, okay, God, please get us out. And he comes at the right time, at the right moment. He's an on-time God. That's just how he is. And so when you really align, it's an alignment. And that's why it's so important to be in alignment with your coach. It's an alignment. Because when there's an alignment there is seed time and harvest. And what you sow in the ground, you come back and reap it, no matter what it is. And it comes back in ways you have no idea. So if you sow whatever you sow. So you gotta be careful, what am I sowing? Am I sowing coachability? Well, coach, my people don't listen. Really? I mean, so this is what I say now sometimes. Y'all, sometimes I get word from my people. I say, well, the apple don't fall too far from the tree. I mean, that's the seed you put in the ground. So maybe when you start listening, you'll get people that start listening. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta realize this, I mean, that's just life, right? And so understanding life principles and God's principles, it'll put you in a better environment, it'll put you in alignment with what you want, what you seek for yourself. And so I'm really an example of everything they talked about today, from the Women in Primerica, the ALC. I just got good at getting people to events. I said, okay, whatever event coming up, I'm gonna get good at getting people to events, because the event will recruit them more than I will. There's no ego in this, we all win. We all win. So once we put our feelings aside, we check our ego, we all gonna succeed and win. And that's what this is truly about, is pushing each other up and knowing that we can do this here. So you guys ready to really do this? Like seriously, put your goals together. So yesterday I gave out a goal sheet and just get clear about what you want. Get really clear about it. And then close your eyes where you can see it, you can feel it, you can taste it, you can smell it. Get all your senses involved in it. And when you truly get all of your senses involved in what you want and lay it out, then go work for it. Like everything you see today when it comes to our business, it happened in a 3-year time span of me getting very focused on working. Me doing exactly what the coaches told me to do. And my upline, this is the power of Primerica. When I became a regional vice president, she became a mom. And she said, Chanika, I built this business so when I become a mom, I can take a break. And she did. For 7 years, she didn't work at all. But she was still making $10,000 to $15,000 a month because she built a business. And that's what Primerica can offer you. When you can build a business means when I step away, it still operates. And so that's the wonderful thing about here, but you gotta be willing to put the work in. You gotta be willing to say, I'm dedicated, I'm gonna put some work into this, I'm gonna get my village around, because if I have kids, right, I need a village that's gonna take care of this, do this for me. I don't do anything at the house. I don't, my husband takes care of all that. That's why I appreciate him for that. Like I don't cook, I don't clean. I know I'm very spoiled, I am. But he takes care of all that, but I spoil him too, okay? And because of that, Primerica has rewarded us more than I can ever imagine. Right? So I want you guys to get clear about what you want and know that it can happen once you are clear on what you want. So y'all ready to win? Yeah. Y'all ready to succeed? Yeah. So I'm excited to be here. I really am. And this is my first event speaking to someone else's organization after COVID, and this is exciting. We got, our success came in the middle of COVID, so many people don't really know me like that. They don't know who I am, so now people really get to know me, and it's exciting to get to know other people. And the people that I saw as coaches and mentors are now becoming family. And that's exciting to have that happen. So I'm excited to be here. I want to thank your coach for having me here. And my second segment, we're going to talk about the work. Right? This is just to show us a little bit of my story, but I'm going to share the work that I did and what you need to really solidify to go succeed in 2023. Y'all ready? Yeah. All right, I'm going to bring back up your awesome coach.